talent is a business. One sure way to be successful in life is by deliberately harnessing one's natural talent for monetary gains. If you are there trying to find yourself, hungry and trying to know what exactly you should be doing or what you could do better than anyone else, trying to find your talent, this book is the solution to your worries. The Talented practically lay bare on how to discover your natural talent, developing it, and more importantly, maximizing it. Being talented does not guarantee anyone a free lunch or free money, irrespective of your background, continent, environment, or charisma. The Talented book was carefully and diligently written to guide you in understanding how to succeed in creative business, and I can categorically tell you that this book is exactly what you need to start succeeding. In this book, I lay bare principles of talent as a human and business in itself, especially how it relates to human beings as a creative, innovative house and being talented at large.
Talent they have, out of the skills they have, and others don't. So I was thinking about all of that, and I started questioning things. I started observing people, I started researching, and I realized that at the end of the day, there are three basic things that we do with our talent. There are three categories or labels we place on them, and that determines the outcome or how much we will get from them. Can I come down? Is it okay for me to come down? I'm asking him because of the video. Can I come down? Okay. So I look so high there. All right. So I realized that there are three basic things or labels we place on whatever it is that we have, either a talent or skill. And the first thing is that we label them as hobby. For some people they can cook, but they are not cooking necessarily for money. They just love cooking. For some of us, when we were much younger, you remember you were playing football in your secondary school or so, and you could really play, but now you're not a footballer. In other words, you have that talent, you have that skill, but you have actually labeled it and categorized it as a hobby and not necessarily something you want to pursue, not necessarily something you want to make money from. That's the first thing we do whenever we have talent or skill, or with our talent and skills. The second thing we do is that categorize it or label it as a craft. And that is where most of us are. We categorize and label it as a craft. So you are a presenter, you are a very skillful person, you've developed your skill, you've sharpened your ability to communicate, and you've done all of that, and you've done fantastically well. And if you look at it, an average person who is in the creative art industry or creative industry is actually a professional when it comes to craft. All of you have some sort of skills that you have developed, and instead of what you were doing with the skills that you turned to hobby, where you were just doing for free what you could have been doing for a fee, now you're charging an amount for what you're doing, right? So if you're a tailor, you're basically making some sort of money from, sewing clothes and so on. Don't worry, just ride with me, we're going on a journey. All right, the third thing that we do is to place the label of business on it. And I'm going to tell you the difference between a craft and a business, and how it matters what you do or the label you place on what you're doing, and how much it affects your thinking. All right, so we place the label of business on it, and when we place the label of business on it, that gives us the opportunity to actually impact more people. It gives the opportunity to be able to create more wealth. It gives us the opportunity to be able to affect more lives and create more significance and relevance, right? And if you look at it, in as much as craft is good, we are as craft people, we look for things that we can do. We look for people who can engage us. We look for platforms we can get on so that we can express our talents and so on and so forth. But that sometimes creates the limitation that many of us are trying to get out of. It creates a major limitation. I don't have my slides, so I'm just... All right. So creates a major limitation that many of us are trying to get out of. So we're trying to build so much more. The thing about craft is this. Craft can get you some level of financial independence. Yeah, to tell you can have some level of financial independence. You have your car, you can have a house, you can live comfortably well. But business is what... the mic is failing. Business is what can actually get you the level of wealth and impact that I personally feel some of us really want to achieve and attain. And Three things I'll just share with you that makes something a business. Number one is that it has systems and structures that makes it possible for you to create massive value. It makes it possible for you to deliver massive value, and it makes it possible for you to capture significant profits. And I will explain what I mean by that. All right, so a business makes it possible for you to create massive value. It makes it possible for you to create massive or deliver massive value as well, create and deliver massive value. Then it makes it possible for you to generate significant profits. All right, so let's say I'm a singer, and what I'm doing is that I sing, and what will happen is that how much I'm going to earn is going to be determined by the number of people who probably buy my album or download my song, or people who invite me for a show. But if I'm the one who actually own the platform where others are putting their music, I will make small money. It will look to you as if I'm making small money. But at the end of the day, I can make much money, and I'll be affecting more people. More people can access the song. More people can get to download from different artists from the same platform, and so on and so forth. So that's one of the thinking that changes the game, that changes everything. That's one of the ways to create wealth. And one of the things I'm going to say is this, because there are just basically three things I want to share with you. I was told I had 10 minutes before and then 15 minutes. So one of the things I'd like to share with you is the fact that there are three ways that you can actually create wealth in this particular industry. From my observation, from everything that I've realized, that three basic ways you can create wealth. And the first one is to deviate. The first one is to deviate. And what I mean by that is this. Everybody is looking for a platform. Everybody wants to blow. Everybody is looking for an opportunity. But I realize that there are people who actually create those opportunities, and those are the ones who control the game. I remember there was a time when I was in school, we were supposed to do projects. So we're supposed to form a group of 6. So we're supposed to be 6 people in a group. And it was then it dawned on me that all of us were looking for a group to join. It wasn't like the school had created the groups already to say, go and join a group. They said, form a group of 6 people, and then do your project, your assignment, and then submit. But all of us were looking for a group to join, and it dawned on me that instead of looking for a group to join, why can't we be the one creating the group? So I switched from there, and I all through my studying period, I was the one creating the group. So people would want to join my group, and they will come, and the group it always gets filled easily, because people will flow in that direction. They will flow in the direction or gravitate in the direction of the person who is bringing value. All right, so the first thing is to deviate, and what I mean by that is this. Some of you are doing the right thing, but you're not doing it right. You're in the right industry, but you're not playing the right role. For some of us, we're just focused on, okay, let me sharpen my skill and become better as a singer. Let me sharpen my skill and become better as a songwriter. Let me sharpen my skill and become better as an actor or an actress, and so on and so forth. But I think in some cases, we need people who can begin to think about creating consulting firms for creative industry, for people in the creative industry. The same thing that you have Jobberman doing for people who are in the corporate sector generally. We need people who can create platforms like that that are basically targeted at solving problems that are peculiar to this particular industry. That's one of the things that I think we need to consider. That's one of the things. Another thing is basically people who sometimes we need to go into engineering. You're still functioning in the same field, but I think some of us need to deviate such that you go out of the core that you're doing now, instead of trying to be the one playing the keyboard or playing the drums or something. You know, you can take an engineering course. I've been the one manufacturing the keyboard, because you have understanding of what sound is like. You understand what it means, you know, to be able to move from one octave to another, to be able to play from one key to another. So you understand what tone sounds like. You understand the difference between an organ and a piano. And because of that simple understanding, you know, you have an advantage. If you become an engineer in that area, you realize that we don't have people from Africa going into such areas. So everybody wants to sing, everybody wants to blow. But if you look at it, it's not so much happening, because the crowd is the market is so congested. You can imagine the number of songs that are produced on a daily basis, the number of songs that are released on a day-to-day basis. So instead of trying to fight with the crowd, instead of trying to just join the pack, we need to begin to think of something else we can do. And part of the things that we can do is to basically deviate, to begin to think of what else we can do outside what everybody is doing. The second thing that I would like to share with you is that you need to create. You need to create. And when I say create, one of the things that comes to mind is the fact that some of us need to begin to create platforms, like I said earlier. Platforms, like I said earlier. There's a company called Nigerian Voice Bank, and what they do basically is that they have this particular platform where if you are a voiceover artist, you can join the platform, and then when there is a gig or something, they connect you directly, or they use you if your voice is approved by their client. They use you for the job and so on. And they have the pool of probably one of the largest voiceover artists in Africa, in the whole of Africa. They've done projects for HP and so many other companies like that. It's called Nigerian Voice Bank. So if you're a voiceover artist or you're interested in that, you can check out what they're doing. There's another company called SOFA. And what SOFA does is that they create events. So for upcoming artists, so they showcase upcoming artists. So they can create the event, and not necessarily at a big hall like this. So it can be in a living room, it can be at a pub, a restaurant or something. And what they do is they created that platform. So if you're an artist, you can get on SOFA. And if you are also somebody looking for a show to attend on a Sunday afternoon or on a Saturday, you can just go on SOFA and basically just check for events around you and buy a ticket. You can apply for a ticket and they will send you a ticket, you purchase a ticket. Those are people solving problems, and that's basically how wealth can be created. Another company is called BeatStar. BeatStar, there's a company called BeatStar, and what they do is that they sell beats. So all these people producing, everybody wants to produce. So, but nobody is hearing what you're producing. Nobody even know you're existing. So what this platform does is that they actually have people who are producers upload their beats, the beats that you've created. And for the same beat, you can actually make a lot of money because people from all over the world can see it and purchase your beat and then use it and sing on it. And that's why sometimes you listen to some song, it could be Casey's song or any other person's song or Davido's song. Yet that the beats are usually similar. It's the same beat. It's the same beat. But someone has taken it up upon themselves to create the platform where people can actually get showcased, where as a producer, you can sell what you have, you can create what you have, so you don't have to look for the market. The market is already existing. They already have the platform where you can just upload whatever it is that you have done, and people can see it and buy it from there. And you can have more than one person or more than 100 people buying from you, depending on the number of work you're able to put in and how fantastic what you have created is. So those are part of the things that you can do as someone in the creative industry. There's another company, we all know that, that's called Eventbrite. What Eventbrite does is that for a program like this, if this program was posted on Eventbrite, you would have been able to go on Eventbrite to basically just look for any program, maybe in this particular field, and register for the event and come here. And so we need people who can begin to think outside the box, people who can begin to think, differently. In most cases, everybody's looking for somebody to give them a platform. Everybody's looking for somebody to showcase them. You need to begin to create the platform that, that will reveal your true identity, that will make the world see you. You have all the tools that you need now. I'm not saying that you should not go to people who can promote you and help you. I'm not saying you shouldn't do that, but I'm saying let's all not go in the same direction. Let's not all go in the same direction. Some of us, we need to create a platform for others. Others are not here now. They are not hearing what you're hearing. Others will not know what you know. So you are ahead of them. You can see what they cannot see. You can spot the opportunities they cannot spot. So that's one of the things that I think we need to do. Another thing that we can do is basically to co-create. If you're not thinking of deviating, if you cannot create alone, and because I'm a business consultant, I've worked with people who have ideas, a lot of idea owners. One of the things I realized is that there are certain ideas that cannot stand on their own. There are some ideas that are best as add-ons to what banks are already doing. So you cannot go and start that particular idea on its own. It doesn't have that level of weight, but it will have more significance if you implement it within an already existing platform or industry or organizational setting. So because of that, some ideas that you will have, some inspirations that you will have, will not be something that necessarily have to stand alone. But there are things that you can collaborate with other people to do. There are things that you can collaborate with other people to do. So even though Uber has created a platform, for instance, one of the things that makes Uber so powerful is the fact that they have people on that platform who are doing stuff, who are using their rides and so on and so forth. One of the people who I think will be here today is Waleoni. And one of the things that he's doing is that he has a sound, a tone. If you buy a Yamaha Montage today, you have WOMP, W-O-M-P, on that Montage keyboard. And that is him co-creating the sound. There was a time I was talking to one of my friends, and he was saying that, yeah, you haven't seen Lagbaja on stage for a while, but Lagbaja has been making money. And what has he been doing? He's been creating sound, African sound, for the companies that manufacture music production softwares. So all the gong, bata, and all those things that you are hearing on those when you use those softwares like Pro Tools and all that, he was busy creating all of those things. So it doesn't necessarily have to depend on people giving him money or inviting him for a program. And the interesting thing about that kind of deal is that as long as they are selling the software, as long as they are adding that stuff to their sound bank, he's making money because he's collecting money, a royalty on all of those things. It could be a percentage, I don't know, depending on the kind of deal he has with them. The same thing for Mike Biril, that's another keyboardist in America. And what he's doing is exactly the same thing that Wale Oni is currently doing for Yamaha. He has his own tone as well on not keyboards. So those are part of the things that you can do. So those are part of the things that I think you can do. Those are part of the areas you can look into and invest in, instead of spending all the time looking for people to give us platform, looking for people to give us opportunities, looking for people. There's so much that we can do. There's so much that we can do. That's how we can create wealth. That's how we can create significance. That's how we can create massive value, to either deviate, to either co-create, or to create on our own. Remember, like I said earlier, so that I will not take more time than necessary. What you don't have is not what limits you. It's what you have, but don't know how to use. All right, thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you.
Talent is a business. One sure way to be successful in life is by deliberately harnessing one's natural talent for monetary gains. If you are there trying to find yourself, hungry and trying to know what exactly you should be doing or what you could do better than anyone else, trying to find your talent, this book is the solution to your worries. The Talented practically lay bare on how to discover your natural talent, developing it, and more importantly, maximizing it. Being talented does not guarantee anyone a free lunch or free money, irrespective of your background, continent, environment, or charisma. The Talented book was carefully and diligently written to guide you in understanding how to succeed in creative business, and I can categorically tell you that this book is exactly what you need to start succeeding. In this book, I lay bare principles of talent as a human and business in itself, especially how it relates to human beings as a creative, innovative house and being talented at large.